Another wonderful round, another incredible set of games from the Rugby World Cup in England going on at the moment. We're super happy with the round so far, maybe a little bit butthurt about a little bit of a letdown.
Yeah, definitely. Or it was a little bit of a letdown, wasn't it? But overall, such a good round, lots more sellout games. So just so cool to see England getting around their home World Cup.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I mean, we can't put it past, even though that game was a bit tough on us, it did mean an amazing game for the viewers and a really strong fight back.
Honestly,
from the US.
I think we're just doing it for views at this point, trying to get more people hooked on it all and watching this last round.
View farming?
We're view farming.
Oh, because then we're going to beat England this weekend.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm super excited for that. Yep. I'm in. But yeah, it's doing super good for attendance still. Hasn't slowed down at all, which is great.
Amazing.
And it's only going to get better, as I'm sure we're going to say plenty of times, because we have so much exciting rugby left, especially with finals coming up.
So much. And I do have to say, I mean, I know we'll talk about it later, but I did pick the upset last week, so pretty happy with that one.
I'm sure you'll tell us all about it. But going into our first game, we had Canada versus Wales. Wales, unfortunately, unable to score a point there, but Canada securing 42 and securing a final spot.
Yes, a quarterfinal spot. I mean, we talked about them. We've talked about them from the beginning on this podcast, and they really are. They're just so strong. And they just showed that once again in this game, keeping Wales to 0. So that was really, really cool. Sophie Dagodi, I think she's the 4 or 5. She's a second rower. But she got player of the match and she got 6 from 6 off her boot conversion. So she's got a 100% success rate and probably the only forward I've ever seen be able to kick a ball like that off a tee. So she's incredible. They're incredible, and they're just absolutely humming into these finals.
Absolutely. And I was talking before off air that we're talking about, I want Canada to go really far. I want Canada to push because I know we have a few really strong teams in there, and I want Canada to fight for it all effectively up against the best.
Yeah, definitely. I think it'll be really cool. I think Canada is so exciting, like you said, because they're such a nation within rugby that we definitely overlook, and for their women to be so strong, it's just really, really cool to see that and put that on a world stage. So yeah, I agree. I think they're such an exciting watch. Yeah,
and I mean, same as last week, as always, I love to go all over the stats, but this game was just so dominant across the board from Canada, especially in attack. Unfortunately, Wales being on the back foot for most of this game, completing more tackles. But what really stuck out to me was just the set piece and the line-outs from Canada just being so strong and securing that ball effectively.
Yeah. Now, I'll throw another stat at you as well. Canada, throughout the whole game, they actually had 782 run meters. So they were just all over it.
Yeah, they were all over the park. Plenty of entertainment from anywhere, I'd say then.
Just such exciting rugby.
Yeah, but unfortunately, Wales not able to claim on the set piece as much, only getting 45% of their lineouts, which makes it hard, but just shows just how good Canada is getting technically in their set piece at the moment.
Yeah, no, it's really cool to see.
But that brings us to our next game. We have Scotland versus Fiji, which was a tight game. And I have some opinions on all of this.
Yeah, I'm sure you do, you Fiji fan.
But I'll let Bonnie start us off by talking about
Scotland? I'll go with Scotland first.
You tell me about Scotland, I'll tell you about Fiji.
Scotland have officially secured their quarterfinal spot. So that's really cool. We've got our 2 teams from Pool B, which are Canada and Scotland, that will be going through to the quarterfinals. I know James feels a certain way about Fiji missing out, but that's okay. Evie Gallinger got player of the match. 35 tackles, James. That's crazy for one game.
It is. No, I was looking at that before, and that rockets her up in the standings as far as tackles go. And the work rate is phenomenal with 35 tackles. That's ridiculous.
Yep. But I think that speaks to how Fiji play, if you want to go into how they play the game, because there's a reason that she had to make 35 tackles and keep that win for Scotland because of Fiji's expansive play.
Absolutely. I think Fiji got a little bit unlucky here. I think When we look at discipline, I think that was a major issue when we consider the 2 yellow cards and a red card that absolutely held back Fiji, with one of those being with only 2 minutes left, but a red card at all is always going to make a game tough. But yeah, all those tackles, it comes from constant pressure from Fiji, holding on to so much of that possession and constantly going at Scotland. Scotland, with a valiant effort in defence, only getting 37% of the ball, you're going to be exhausted with tackles all game. Fiji dominating, like we talked about the 700 run meters. They scored 725. Fiji did, and couldn't secure the win here, which just shows how much goal line effort we saw from Scotland in defence.
Yeah, definitely. I think it just, like you said, speaks value to Scotland's defence, but unfortunately also to the way that Fiji play with their offloads and things. It definitely works and it's so exciting to watch, but there's definitely crucial moments where sometimes an offload may be not needed to be thrown and possession and things like that are lost. So unfortunately they just couldn't finish this one off.
Yeah, it is unfortunate. Like, there are just so many offloads and it does make for such entertaining rugby. But unfortunately, it's one of those games where technique and fine decision making comes down to the win. And Scotland, who are a strong side, managed to claim that one fairly and felt probably pretty comfortable in that. But I think on a separate day, Fiji definitely could have taken the win there.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
But that moves us on to England and Samoa. Samoa only scoring 3 points.
Yes,
England's
but
92.
3 points for their first time in over a decade. So they were ecstatic. It was their first points on the board in over a decade, and they could tell. You could tell. They were versing the Red Roses, the hardest team that this comp's going to have to face. And they literally killed it in terms of getting points on the board against this team, and they knew that. So I think that was really, really exciting for them. It was definitely exciting to watch. I
think they're one of the stories of the World Cup. Like, I don't know if you saw the post-game interview with the coach, and he talked about just how much it meant for Samoa to be in a position where they're getting off the bus and there's a crowd cheering for them to be there and to want them there and to play in front of so many fans was such a exhilarating and meaningful experience.
Well, absolutely. I watched that video and it was really inspiring, to be honest, to see a male coach, especially a Samoan male coach, to get emotional about his women, saying how much they deserve it and how much they, how much it means that a country that has absolutely nothing to do with them and their culture just get around them. And he said thank you to the English fans because it meant so much to them. So, I mean, like, that's really, really cool for them to come there and get off the bus and just feel that type of way. So I think that's really exciting for them, and I think they would love that.
I think it just demonstrates how much rugby and sport can mean, especially at a World Cup, to all of the countries who, so many of them will likely won't win a World Cup within any recent time, but what it means to the players and the culture and the celebration of culture, whether it be their rugby culture or their culture in general, is massive, especially in a growing field in women's rugby.
Yeah, yep. And I think that's what England are showing us time and time again in this World Cup, is just how they love rugby, but rugby's rugby. Like, it's a women's World Cup, and that means absolutely nothing to them except that they want to watch the games. So, like, I mean, for me as a female rugby player, that means a lot to watch that as well. So, it's this cup is the incredible World Cup because it's just so incredible to watch in all areas. Absolutely,
but let's get to the game a little more. Jess Breach, the absolute amazing game from her.
Yeah, 50 international tries. That's just such an incredible achievement, and for her to do that in a World Cup, I know that would mean a lot to her. I mean, obviously, England secured their quarterfinal spot with this win. It was 92-3. Such a dominant game, but they definitely deserved this one. They worked hard for it, and Jess, she should be so proud of herself to be able to do that in a World Cup. But I also want to speak on their 10. Helena Rowland, she got player of the match. She got 27 points in this game. 1 try, 11 conversions, James.
That's wow. You look at 11 out of 13. That's really, really strong from her, and so many points.
So many points, but 11 conversions to be that strong off your tee. Yeah, crazy.
To play a whole game and continue to just kick off the tee throughout the whole game and to be consistent.
Mm-hmm. But not only that, she also became the first women's English player to score the most points in a World Cup. So,
wow.
In one game. So,
wow. So another record beaten. It
Another
really
record.
is the incredible World Cup at this point.
It's amazing. Yeah, it's really cool.
Oh, we love to see it. But overall, a really amazing game. Now, to push on to one that on the field was something quite amazing, something quite painful as well. We have the Wallaroos 31 to US 31.
Oh, wasn't this just absolutely gut-wrenching? We had this and then we didn't have it, and then we had it again, lost it, and came back. It was just so...
Yeah, it was a game that went down to the wire and
right down
is such
to the
an
wire.
amazing game.
Yeah, and unfortunately we did have the chance to take the lead right there at the end, but Sammy Wood just couldn't get that conversion over, and not her fault, but it just, yeah.
It is one of those games, and there was a lot of talk about the rivalry and how these teams are a little bit back and forth, but for it to deliver on the level that it did, this was the one result that I wasn't expecting. Part of me was like, look, it's going to be on the day, there's a chance we lose this, and the other part of me was saying we're the Wallaroos, we're better, we're going to win, and the last thing I expected was a draw.
Same.
And such a high scoring draw as well.
Same.
It was such an amazing game, and if you get an opportunity, please do watch that one. But from what I saw and my dissection of the game, it was a bit of a juxtaposition between scoring tries through the forwards and pushing over the line versus the Wallaroos, who were airing it out to the backs and showing a little bit more dominance out there.
Yeah. We saw Desiree Miller go in again for another try. She's just outstanding in this World Cup. And also Caitlin Hulse, the 18-year-old, she got a double, which is awesome to see our young ones doing so well. But yeah, unfortunately for us, it was just gut-wrenching.
And looking into the stats, the major issue that I found was just how many penalties we were conceding. It was a complete landslide, and it allows the US to 6 penalties to 13. It allowed the US to gain territory basically for free. It's not what we want, but a part of me, I just can't get over that. It's just an amazing game as well. You have to appreciate that.
Yes, no, definitely. But I mean, it was because of key players. Ilona Ma for the 13 for USA, she had 3 crucial turnovers that won them back possession, that they then dominated from that off of. So, I mean, for her to do that for her team, that's huge. The number 5, she scored with 10 minutes to go, and that put them straight back into it. So, I mean, that was great. And then obviously we had Eva Kapani score right at the very end, to put us back up to a tie. So that was also great. It was just such an exciting game because you didn't know which way it was going to go right down to the end, and it didn't go either way. So
yeah, with 5 changes to the game score leader, it it was a bit all over the place.
Yeah.
And the US have definitely showed up this World Cup. They looked good against England for a good 20 minutes, and I think it scared us a little bit, and they've looked good once again against us.
Yeah. And obviously their player getting player of the match, Freda Tafuna, she got 2 tries to put them back in the contest. So, I mean, USA are just looking so strong, so exciting. Yeah.
They've turned up at the right time.
They sure have.
Unfortunately, I do want them to miss out on the next stage, which is all going to come down to next week.
Yes, this next week's just going to be crucial. I know we'll talk about it later, but it's such a crucial game to the whole competition. because obviously we've got England that secured their quarter-final spot in Pool A, but no one else yet. So it'll be either Wallaroos or
This is
USA.
the rivalry of the World Cup at the moment.
Yeah.
Which is super exciting. But we'll get into that in a little bit. Next up, we have Ireland versus Spain. Ireland confirming their qualifying for the next stage. Tell me about it a little bit, Bonnie.
Yeah, I mean, again, we just saw Ireland's strength in their expansive play, but also Spain's dominance in defence. Unfortunately, Spain couldn't get many more points on the board, but I mean, they racked up a nice 27 against Ireland's 43. So, high-scoring game, but unfortunately, Spain just unable to pull through again.
Yeah, I mean, Spain was scoring throughout the game, and it was just one of those things where it's like a few stops here or there, really like you minus a try or two from small little decisions here or there, and the game was as tight as it gets. Unfortunately, yeah, Spain couldn't quite hold on. You can't really concede 43 points and expect to come out with a win, but to score 27, to throw all the game in there, and after being down at halftime and then scoring first in the second half, they put on pressure onto Ireland and it forced Ireland to play their best attacking rugby that they could.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, it was just a great game, to be honest, but yeah, unfortunately, Spain, as much heart as they bring into this World Cup, they just haven't been able to pull it off yet. But no, it was really cool. Ireland, Linda Dugang, I'm going to say that, and that's definitely not how you say it, but she got 50 caps for Ireland, so that's really, really cool to see. And Ireland also got the player of the match under Alina Perry. So Ireland just dominated this game, unfortunately, but Spain are still thriving, still happy. So
I think we see Spain. If Spain get any better, I think they'll be a force to be reckoned. We might see like an upset win for Spain, like another one that we've got coming up soon.
Yeah, definitely.
But onto our next game, we have New Zealand continuing to look strong, rotating their players up against Japan, 62-19. Look, New Zealand are just so good, but maybe with a little bit of a scare 4 minutes in.
Yeah, 4 minutes in, Japan were the first to score. So that was really, really cool. It was one of the Japanese wingers. I'm not even going to try to pronounce her name, but that was really, really cool. They just absolutely got the overlap and used it to their advantage on the right corner. So they definitely put New Zealand under the pump straight away.
Make them skip a beat.
Yeah, definitely.
But New Zealand rarely skips too much because they did not hold back after that point.
They absolutely did
maybe
not.
that was the nail in the coffin, actually.
Yeah, I think so.
But Japan putting up 19 points either way.
Yeah.
Which is such an incredible feat as well against such a strong side. A few yellows and reds throughout the game. A yellow each and a red to New Zealand in the 67th minute, which doesn't help.
Yeah, it was a double yellow that obviously went to a red. So unfortunately, that means that a player is then off for 20 minutes. That player will not be able to return, but after 20 minutes, New Zealand can put another player on. So it meant that essentially for 30 minutes they played with 14 players. So
it makes it tough. But Japan did what they could with that and
definitely used
points.
it their advantage. But in saying that, Portia Woodman-Whitcliffe, she is the GOAT of women's rugby. She is such an amazing person. 50 tries for her nation. She is the top try scorer for New Zealand, men or women ever in the international jersey.
That's impressive. That is beyond impressive.
It's beyond impressive.
That's
men
getting
and
to
women,
GOAT status.
She is the GOAT. She is absolutely the GOAT of women's rugby, and it's really cool. There was a video of her with the Brazilian players off field, and they were crying because they got to meet Portia Woodman-Whitcliffe. So, like, that just speaks to the extent of how great she is. So, for her to get 50 tries and be the top try scorer, men and women, in her colours, her nation's colours, I mean, that's an incredible achievement, and she should hold on to that for forever. So, yeah, it was also her 22nd Rugby World Cup try. So she's the all-time try scorer in the Women's Rugby World Cup and the men's in the black jersey.
I mean, we all need the GOAT, and I think we found one, and it's only going to help New Zealand's rugby, New Zealand's women's rugby and women's rugby in general. So I love it. As much as I don't despise New Zealand rugby, but I live in a respectful hatred. No.
Yeah. But actually also going into New Zealand a little bit further quickly. So we obviously have the GOAT and the veteran, Portia, but Braxton Sawson-McGee, she is the 18-year-old. She played winger in the first game and fullback in this game. And she came away with a hat-trick. So in that New Zealand game, we saw the veteran and the new kid on the block absolutely put a show on for their nation. So
they're only gonna get better. They're gonna be stopped rotating. They're gonna really put out their best side going into finals, and we're gonna see a really strong New Zealand side go up against some really talented sides as well. So finals is coming up. We're not too far out now.
No, it's getting so exciting, James.
Absolutely, and that takes us to the game that I'm sure you cannot wait to talk about. We have Italy and South Africa. South Africa taking a 5-point win, 24-29, with an upset leading at halftime. A dominant, strong performance from South Africa.
I knew this was coming. I called it last week. I absolutely knew it. They are on an absolute roll, and the vibes that they have in this World Cup is just so cool to see off the field, on the field. South Africa, they've secured their quarterfinal spot. This is the first time they've ever made it out of the pool stage. So, I mean, they are absolutely just on top of the world right now.
Scoring from the second minute, they were not playing games.
No, they were not playing games at all. And they shouldn't be either. To beat Italy, and upset Italy in a World Cup, I mean, what's a better feeling than that? So I mean, they'd be on top of the world. Yeah,
dominating territory, 62%, having a handy grasp on possession with 55%, and just making the most of it with all their opportunities. 600 metres carried. It's not like Italy, by any means, were out of this game. Like, it was a constant fight. This isn't a game where they could take their foot off the gas at all. They constantly had to fight for this win, and Eve came out on top, and they look great, and they're going to be super excited to have qualified for the next stage.
Yeah, definitely. Unfortunately, with Italy, I think it was just their missed tackles. They missed 28 tackles in this game, and if you miss that many tackles against such a dominant side as South Africa, unfortunately, it's not going to go your way. So I think if Italy can fix that in their next game, they'll be okay. But unfortunately, they've missed out on a quarterfinal spot now. So
yeah, and I think another thing that when we're looking at the stats for South Africa as well, I think they might want to be working out on their set piece, and their line-outs only claiming 50% there. But if they can clean that up, then I'm super excited for maybe another upset from South Africa going forward.
Yeah, yep.
But this brings us to our final game of the round. We have France and Brazil. Brazil scoring their first try, and France claiming a dominant win, 84-5.
Yeah, so exciting. So exciting to see Brazil get their first try. I mean, it's their first World Cup. They've got a try on the board. Like, they're on top of the world. I mean, like I said, I mentioned that they met Portia Woodman-Whitcliffe, and they got so emotional about that. So I think, honestly, they are just so happy to be a part of this World Cup. And the fact that they got their first try through Bianca Silva is just so cool for them.
Yeah, and I love the try as well. Bianca just being confident in herself, throwing a dummy and just running into space, and the defense just wasn't ready for it, and taking it across the field, having plenty of moments to feel that try as she was running down. I think the beauty of that near full field try is that every single fan has the time just to understand just how much it means, and every player gets taken in, especially Bianca. I think that was the best way they could have scored. It's so amazing and such a big step in Brazilian rugby.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I'm so excited for them, and I mean, I think this is just so cool for them. But speaking on France's strengths, they got 1,004 run meters.
Yeah,
their possession was 74%. So, although it's really cool for Brazil to put some points on the board, it's just so cool to see France's dominance in the women's game.
Yeah, they're just so efficient on the ball, splitting possession halfway, but still claiming 4 times the meters. France looking really, really good. 53-0 up at half time, so slowing down a little bit in the second half. Just such a strong first half performance.
Yeah.
Incredible stuff from France.
But I do have to say that Brazil had 1 line break, and they did score off that line break, so I think they'd be pretty happy with that.
The best line break of the tournament.
Yeah.
It's efficient with your line break. Score 100% of the tries that you get off line breaks.
If you make a line break, you got to score off it.
Yeah, that's now the rule in Brazil. It's Brazilian rugby. This is the culture of Brazilian rugby now.
Well, it's being created right in front of our eyes.
Absolutely. But overall, an amazing round, and we're about to get ready to talk about the next one.
Yes, we are. And now on to round 3 preview. So what an exciting round we have ahead. We have teams that are still trying to find quarterfinal spots and some that are just trying to continue on their strengths. So it'll be really cool to see this round 3.
Well, as far as continuing our strengths, we've actually seen every pool except for our own confirm those who are going through to the next round, while the US and Australia are still one step behind, fighting for that opportunity to go to the big stage.
Yeah, fighting is the right word.
But what's our first game? Take us through the games.
Yeah. So our first one is on Saturday, which is our Pool B clash, our first Pool B clash, Canada v Scotland at 9:30 p.m. So if you're awake at 9:30 and you've got nothing better to do on a Saturday night, put the game on, because Canada will just be looking to continue their strength. Obviously, it's their first shot against Scotland, who are also in the quarterfinals. So I think both teams will definitely be looking to put a good image forward and secure that first spot in their pool. So,
well, yeah, I mean, if you're going to be up there late, you might as well stay to our next game.
Yes.
Which is the US versus Samoa.
Which is our own pool. And this USA game against Samoa means a lot towards what the Wallaroos, the rest of the Wallaroos tournament's going to look like. So, yeah, it's a very important game for our pool. It's actually an important game towards us, to be honest, because USA will just be looking to put as many points as they can on Samoa. And Samoa will just be looking to try and put as many points as they can because it's the World Cup. So, yeah, it'll be a really, really cool game, I think.
Absolutely. We're going to get into the ladders in just a second and talk about just how important this match is, but we cannot understate how important this is for our Wallaroos and for the US going forward. Next up, we have Wales and Fiji going up against each other. Fiji, I'm hoping to claim a victory here.
Yeah, I think so too. I think, unfortunately, Wales, they came into this tournament probably thinking they were going to do a little bit better than what they have. And unfortunately, they've just let it slip in those first 2 games. So, yeah, I do feel bad for them, but I would love to see Fiji get a win here. And I think they deserve one. They've worked so hard. They play such a cool style of rugby. And I agree. I would love to see Fiji get this win. Yeah,
I'd love to see the offloads. You're talking about that it can lead to issues when you're forcing offloads and we don't need to, but I actually hope they take it to a whole new level and just I don't want to see a single run. I don't want to see the ball touch the ground. I want to see the ball go from hand to hand the entire way through.
Yeah, 0 tackles, just all runs.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
I would love to see that from Fiji, and I'd love to see them claim a win here in such beautiful fashion as I know their rugby is.
Yep, I agree. And on Sunday, we have our first game at 2 a.m, which if anyone wants to wake up for that one, That would be fun, but it is our Wallaroos v England. So, I mean, I'll be up at 2 a.m. I'll definitely be watching this one because it's so crucial towards our whole World Cup campaign. So, England v Wallaroos. This is going to be the hardest game we probably will face in this World Cup.
Absolutely. And it also just means so much to every player who goes up against England as well. I'm sure all the players will be fighting for an opportunity to play on such a big stage against such a great team. We understand that we're going to have our backs up against the wall well and truly. But anything and everything that we do in this game is crucial to our World Cup success this year.
Yeah, we are just going to be throwing absolutely everything at it. Attack, defence. The Wallaroos would be in camp right now working so hard on everything, devising plans on, whatever England's weaknesses are. I don't know if they've showed any, but hopefully that Wallaroos have a plan around where to attack and where to defend. So I think Wallaroos will go firing into this game. They've just got to at least put as many points as they can on or hold as many points as they can out. So crucial game for Wallaroos, and obviously they'll be able to see what the USA Samoa game led to first, so they'll know exactly what they have to do in this next game. So yeah.
And England could apply additional pressure if they want to, and I have a feeling they might, just because of I think we can be a strong team going forward. But moving on to Spain and Japan at 9 p.m. on Sunday. Look, two teams who have showed a little bit here and there. Spain probably wishing to do a little better this year. And Japan just putting on 19 points on the New Zealand side. So I'm keen to see what they can do up against Spain.
I'm so excited for this game. I think it's just going to be such an expansive style of rugby. Spain obviously being so dominant in defence, but Japan being so exciting in attack. I think, we'll see a really, really cool style of rugby played in this game, and honestly exciting to watch. So I'm actually excited for this game.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't know who would come away with this win because both teams have been great this tournament.
Yeah, the draw is really interesting because we come into the final round, and although we have most of our qualifiers gone through, we've got so many tight matches that will not be dead rubbers by any means, because this is a World Cup and this does mean so much to every player and potentially an opportunity to play in a better role for the next game. We've then got a double header for Pool D. We have Italy and Brazil going up against each other. Brazil hoping to keep banking an extra try.
Yeah, banking points. Really, really exciting for them. And definitely exciting for Italy as well. Hopefully Italy can come away with what they came to the World Cup to do and get a win. But I think Brazil will just be excited to just keep putting more points on.
Yeah, and New Zealand getting ready for their next stage. I assume rotating players once again up against Ireland. Probably their toughest team yet.
This is where we see our first clash for these guys who are both quarterfinalists. So it'll be really exciting to see both of them put a good foot forward. I mean, Ireland will just be preparing for any team that they're versing in the quarterfinals, so they'll be looking to put a good score on New Zealand, and I think New Zealand may potentially just be looking to rest some players this round because they know they've got this quarterfinal. So it'll be an interesting game. And
then we finish off the round with France versus South Africa. Probably
this one's huge.
Yeah, definitely one of our top three for this round. South Africa once again going into a new game, and we want them to continue. Yeah,
we do. We definitely do want them to continue. This will be their hardest game, obviously, in their pool before the quarterfinals, because these are both quarterfinalists, and their first hit at their strongest teams in their pool. So, it'll be really, really cool to see what South Africa can do to France, what pressure they can put them under. Obviously, it's France's game to win, but it's also South Africa's game to win as well.
It's South Africa's opportunity to claim that top spot of the pool. So I know they'll be keen, and plenty of opportunities for teams to claim top spots of their pool across all of the games. Which brings us to our ladder. We're getting a little later in the podcast now, so we'll make sure to keep this nice and quick. But taking a look at the ladder, as we mentioned before, Pool A is probably the one to keep an absolute eye on going into this week. We've got England claiming top spot, with Australia and the US competing for second spot with around 130 point differential at the moment, which in other tournaments you may see as too much to change up, but the US are definitely going for that, and Australia is fully aware that if they don't turn up against England, we're going to give them a well-opened door.
Yeah, definitely. It's really good that we got that really strong first win against Samoa, but I mean, we've just got to be so strong against this English side and, hold USA out from claiming this second spot.
Yeah, Samoa claiming the fourth spot, unfortunately, but as we've talked about, an amazing World Cup from them.
Yeah.
Pool B, we have Canada and Scotland qualifying, going through. Canada taking first spot, Scotland going second, going up against each other, as we've just mentioned. And then we have Wales and Fiji, unfortunately, missing out. But I'm sure one of them wants to claim that third spot after their game up against each other.
Yeah, definitely. I think the biggest thing is it'll be cool to see if Canada can keep that top spot or if Scotland can knock them off. So that's probably the only change that we'll see if that happens this round.
Yeah, and then we have New Zealand and Ireland, as we've just talked about, going up against each other as well, holding first and second and qualifying through, while Spain and Japan are fighting for that third spot. And then going into Pool D, we had South Africa and France, the mega game that we're also excited for, claiming the top two. Who's going to claim that first? Probably France, as we've talked about, theirs to win, but South Africa, chip on their shoulder and ready to go.
Yeah, I think it's really cool that South Africa are sitting on top at the moment.
I know, they've got it now. So actually, as far as I'm concerned, France is going to have to come and take it.
France have got to come and take it.
And then Italy and Brazil rounding out Pool D, an opportunity for potential third there from Brazil. But Italy are going to want to finish off their campaign with a win.
Yeah, absolutely.
But overall, an amazing, incredible World Cup. Is there anything else we want to go over, Bonnie?
No, I'm just so excited for this round, so excited to see what our Wallaroos girls can do, and excited to get all the final spots for the quarterfinals and see what's ahead.
Absolutely, and with plenty of these teams potentially resting their players going into finals, it's going to be a tough ask for whether Australia or Australia or the US, whoever makes it in, not getting that opportunity this round. But it only means that the competition is going to get better. The games are going to get tighter. The quality of rugby is going to be the best we have ever seen in women's rugby.
The best we've ever seen in women's rugby, as this tournament keeps showing again and again how strong and how far women's rugby's come. The quarterfinals, and as we go into even further finals, it's just going to show exactly how far and how talented the women are in this game.
Absolutely. So I understand if this week you're a little bit, maybe I want to catch up on my sleep, but if you're going to do it, take a rest like the other teams, because be ready. Finals are coming, and we're coming with all of the information, all of the updates, all of the previews and recaps going into the finals and the final round of pool stages. I'm so excited.
I'm so excited too. It's all excitement here. It's absolutely phenomenal rugby. And just phenomenal sportsmanship. This is just such an incredible World Cup. We've said it again and again, the incredible Women's World Cup.
Absolutely, and that wraps us up for Cupside Commentary this week. Sorry it's a little longer, but we can't hold it back. As we said, it is the incredible World Cup. I've been James.
And I have been Bonnie.
And we can't wait to see you next week for the third round of the pool stages.
See you then.
See you guys.